message because I drink Diet Coke, and I already know Diet Coke's terrible, so don't send me any emails telling me that it is. I already know it. I've read it all. I know all that stuff. But I still drink Diet Coke every day. And so I go to McDonald's because McDonald's has the best Diet Cokes. I don't have any shares of stock in McDonald's. All I care about with McDonald's is the Diet Coke. So I go every morning and I get a Diet Coke from McDonald's. There is a McDonald's close to where I live, and you know, I get to know the people in McDonald's, and they see me pretty often. So a couple of Sundays ago at 6 in the morning, because they open at 6, so there I was right there getting it on my way to church, and I stopped and I got a Diet Coke. Well, the woman that has served me, you know, in the drive-thru so many times was there, and so anyway, she knows my name now, and I know her name because we've introduced ourselves to each other. So I get up to the window, and she hands me the Diet Coke. I'm handing her the $1.08, and she said, "I'm not taking your money today. This is a gift to you today." Wow, are you serious? She said, "Yeah." I said, "Why are you doing this?" She said, "Because you're a nice guy." I said, "Well, you have judged me correctly with that. That's really..." And humble and proud of it. So I said to her, "I'm a pastor." She said, "I figured you were." She said, "Who shows up at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning with a coat and tie on? Who does that?" So I kind of thought you were a pastor. "So where do you pastor?" I said, "Sugar Creek Baptist Church." And she said, I would be interested in knowing more about your church. So I got this little gift bag, you know, with a cup and got our name on it and a little book on God's promises and information about the church. And I gave it to her. And then I went in a few days after that. I went in. There are too many people in line. So I went inside, and there she was taking a break. And so I walked over to her, and she said, I love the book on promises. And she said, we went online and we saw all the stuff and we saw all the things you do for the kids and that kind of thing. And she said, "I sent it to my cousins, information about Sugar Creek, your website, to my cousins. My mom is gonna come. The moment I get off on Sunday morning, and I have to work on Sunday morning, we're coming to the Richmond-Rosenberg campus." Richmond-Rosenberg, you better be listening to me, because when they come, you better be very, very nice to them. So she said, "We're all going. We live closer to the Richmond-Rosenberg campus." And a Diet Coke may be reaching several families. And I'm just saying to you, wherever we go, God is wanting to use us. We got to open our mouths. We got to tell people. We got to invite them to church and invite them to Christ. We have to do this. And we will be stunned at the difference that God will make if we will just open our heart and say, you know, part of what God is wanting me to do is share Jesus Christ with somebody else. A world-changing church shares Jesus. There's one more thing and we're done. It's simply this. This little thing stuck out for me, and it didn't fit in worship, connect, serve, and share, because I think it's the capstone of it all. Listen to what it says in Acts. Well, here it is. A world-changing church radiates an awe of God. And listen to what it says. Acts chapter 2, verse 43. Everyone was filled with awe. And many wonders and signs were being performed by the apostles. And I had interpreted it, well, they saw all the miracles and they were in awe of God. Pastor Libin Abraham and I were talking about this, and he said, I don't think that's what it's saying. Here's what I think it's saying. Everybody was in awe of God. And in awe of God, God moved to meet their needs in miraculous ways. And he's right. It begins with awe. Not the awe of a miracle, the awe of the miracle maker. The awe of God. The awe that God would love us, that he would care for us, that he would be there for us, he would meet our needs. The awe that this God let us be called a child of his. The awe of God. And as we are in awe of him, he moves in our lives in amazing ways. Here's the illustration, and I want you to see this video.
Hi, my name is Bruce. I'm one of the pastors here at Sugar Creek. And in late July of this year, I had what was scheduled to be a routine surgical procedure. One of my parathyroid glands needed to be removed, and so I had that surgery done. And though the surgery was successful, when I awakened, I could not talk. Unfortunately, one of my vocal cord nerves had been damaged during the procedure. And I went through 3.5 months of the inability to talk normal. In fact, many of you heard me try to talk. It sounded like I had a severe case of laryngitis, but it wasn't laryngitis at all. It was that one of my vocal cord nerves had stopped working and was paralyzed. So some of you saw me wear this little box around my neck, and I had this little headset on with a microphone on it just so you could even somewhat hear me and understand me, but people still had trouble understanding what I was saying, and it was impacting my life every day in very concerning ways. And I was just desperate. I went to a speech therapist who